Growing up, search engines and the internet were sort of this invisible third party in my childhood, especially when it came to learning about sexual orientation and sexuality and sort of discovering what that meant for me and for others. I grew up in a pretty conservative military family, and we lived in conservative military neighborhoods. I didn't have any gay friends. I really didn't know any gay people until I was older. But even if I had at that point, I don't know that I could have had those conversations yet. I was so afraid of what it all might mean and how contrary it was to my upbringing and my surroundings that I don't know that I could have asked those questions of an actual person. I was really lucky because I had access to other resources. I had this kind of imaginary best friend that I could ask any question that I had, and I didn't need to be afraid of their reaction. I also was lucky because I got to watch this friend grow up basically right alongside me. I got to watch the answers that people got get better and more fleshed out. I also saw the questions that people were asking become more and more complicated. You weren't just clicking through to websites anymore, you were actually finding people and finding communities. You know, there was this whole digital revolution happening, and the LGBT community really levied that reach so that they could find and help some of their more isolated members. People that didn't have support systems, people that didn't have in-person communities that they could turn to, young people that didn't have somebody that they could ask some of their most basic questions of, let alone someone that was there to reassure them and tell them that they were going to be okay. There's something that happens when you don't have role models like you that you can look to. When there isn't somebody like you that you can see being healthy and happy and living their lives successfully. You know, you miss out on so much more than just that relationship. As a young person, you actually miss out on the belief and the confidence that all of that is possible for you too. There is still isolation. There is still discrimination. There are kids who are afraid of what it means to be LGBT and don't know who to turn to talk about that. There are adults who are legally restricted from living their lives in a way that feels authentic for them. So we have to look at this digital explosion that took place in the LGBT community as a natural phenomenon. You know, it was haphazard, it was experimental, it was put together by so many little pieces of different communities. There were things that we did really, really well, and then there were things that we could have done better. And if we take the time to examine some of those successes and failures over the past, 10, 15, 20 years, we're going to be able to strategize and put together digital resources that are so much stronger and so much more able to reach members of the community that really need them. There is still a lot of work to do, and if we take this time, then the hope is that we can create a situation where hopefully nobody ever feels like they don't have anyone to turn to ever again. Thank you.